Well, hello, hello, hello. I'm excited. My camera is working tonight. It didn't work last week for whatever mysterious reason, but we are here tonight with a live camera. I mean, my viewers could see me, I just couldn't see. So, anyway, welcome to the Soul Nurturer channel. This is my live at 555. And Tuesdays are really about, I don't know, I guess my intention for Tuesday nights is a space where people could come in and check in with themselves, to receive some soul nurturing, to just pause, put a pause on life for a bit. I feel like we're all so busy that we don't take the time to just disconnect from the external world and come into our inner world. So that's what this space is about for all of you. And it also offers me a space to be consistent here with videos and to really showing up for you. I'm showing up for myself. And that is really the goal, especially for those of you who are practitioners and healing professions and service oriented professions, to remember to show up for yourself too. And that is an ongoing lesson for me. So, anyway, welcome to the Soul Nurturer channel. This channel is about very much what I just said: learning to pause, reclaim soul potential, nurture soul potential into our highest possibilities. And that requires a lot of awareness. I just came up with this little acronym the other day by accident, and those are the best, right? Let's see, it's awe. So to have awe for your life. Okay, so here it goes. The first A is awareness. Second A is acceptance. And then the third is accountability. And then the W, so this is not H, W, awe, is willingness. So really, I often say that transformational journeys are simple and yet very complex, right? Because everything we're learning and trying to digest and integrate has to go through a lot of programming, right? So, anyway, I will like to start out with, I think I'm going to start with a little meditation, and I think I'm going to do a guided imagery tonight because it's on topic. My topic for tonight is tending your own soul garden. And that's what I think about healing and transformation. We have to go into our inner worlds and cultivate what's possible for us to grow our potential, right? And I have a couple quotes to share. I'll start with a quote, and then I'm going to take you through a little guided imagery. And if you're watching this, no one's here with me live. That's okay. I wanted to do a short video tonight. But when you watch the replay, please do comment, subscribe if you haven't. I hope that, if you're called to this channel, trust it. I love to know where people are viewing from. Just put a comment in there. You can ask questions. Also, I love to know what your takeaways are. Okay, so let me start with a quote, and then I'm going to go right into meditation, a guided imagery. What's the difference? Probably wondering. For me, meditation, hypnosis, guided imagery is all very similar. Guided meditation is guiding you to have your own receptive experience. Guided imagery is more taking you on an inner journey and letting the imagery evoke deeper connection to your soul awareness. So that's my distinction anyway. Okay. So, and just by the very, just even hearing me say soul garden, what images come to mind? What do you see or sense or feel? Some people don't visualize. So when you hear me say imagery, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do that. I'll tell you a really funny, quick story. When I became a hypnotherapist 23 years ago, I could not image. I couldn't see images. And so when I would go through the process, I realized it's okay. If I can guide people to see their images, I could feel connected. I would hear messages, but I could not image. And so I continued just to offer what I felt was a valuable tool without it being ignited in me. And one day, it's true for my practitioners out there, if you are willing just to take the seat and show up, you continue to be gifted, empowered, if you will, with more, I like to call it soul medicine, to offer others. And I think it was at least 5 years into my practice, and I was sitting in my office guiding someone, or just, I think we were just having the opening conversation that leads into the healing work, and pop, all of a sudden, all these images, so much imagery. And now that's how it works for me. When I'm talking, I get images. When I'm working with a client, I get images. When I'm doing my own work, I get images. And I'm so very grateful for that. So, okay, so let me go back to the quote. I just wanted to check and see if anybody was here. It's a quiet night. I usually have a few people with me, and that's okay. It is, I wanted to say also at the top, I wanted to ask two questions if people were here, but if you're watching this in the replay, on my heart to ask you was, how are you doing? Three questions. How are you doing? And please do comment if you feel comfortable, or send me an email at thesoulnurturer@gmail. What are you struggling with? Like, what's in your inner world that you're not sharing at this point? I'm not asking you to share confidential things, but those places where we feel so alone, like we're the only ones struggling with something. If it's comfortable for you, comment on that, because I guarantee you're not alone. So what are you struggling with right now? Or if you want to say it, you want to maybe not feel so heavy with it, what's alive in you right now? What are you, like, it's got your attention, right? And then what was my third question? I guess, how are you caring for your soul? And I ask that question because that's what we're going to be doing, nurturing our soul potential via the imagery of Soul Garden. And if you haven't read Care of the Soul by Thomas More, please read that book. Please read that book. It was a book I found in my early 20s. I think one of my, like, there were three books I found early on that were like my touchstone books. Like, yes, yes. Thomas More is an incredible teacher. For me, I think that he's a living mystic, to tell you the truth. So check that book out. He has a new version of it out, like with expanded material. I ordered it on Audible at this time because I just love listening to it. It's like just healing. So I do have a quote from his book that I wanted to share, which fits with my soul garden metaphor tonight. So spirituality is seeded, germinates, sprouts, and blossoms in the mundane. It is to be found and nurtured in the smallest of daily activities. So that's from Care of the Soul, Guide for Cultivating, one of my favorite words, Depth and Sacredness in Everyday Life. I have one more quote from Rumi, which speaks to this channel and the work I do as a transformational hypnotherapist and a soul guide. The garden of the world has no limits except in your mind, right? And that's what we're working with here today. That inner world, the mind, and where we're limiting ourselves, and where we have in our soul garden, like weeds and rocks and obstacles that prevent us from really growing our full potential. And many of us have gone through some, I don't usually swear on my channel, but it feels appropriate. Some of us have gone through a lot of shit. And what is shit? It's great compost. It's just rich, fertile soil to grow your potential, kind of like the wound and the gift, right? I'm going to check one more time, see, is anybody here? No. One person's here, but not chatting, and that's okay. You don't have to. Let's go into this guided imagery. So I do invite you just to take some time for you. And if you're watching this in replay, pause the video, get yourself set up, go get your meditation cushion, whatever feels right for you. Turn off, distractions, and take this time, claim this time for you and your soul. Okay? All right. So there is someone with me. Okay. Oh, beautiful. Okay. I think you're new to my channel. Are you? I don't recognize your name, but welcome. Let me know where you're viewing from. And this person is saying long solo walks in the woods is a great place to find self. I agree. I often say anywhere in nature helps us. It's a beautiful mirror back to our true nature, our soul essence. Oh, well, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Where are you viewing from, if you'd like to? Okay. New Hampshire. All right. Okay. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. And first, I'm going to take us into a little guided imagery today. So again, guided imagery, like a guided meditation, I'm going to be evoking some images for you. Don't worry if you don't see any images. Feel, sense, imagine um, what the imagery is speaking for you or calling forth through you. Okay, so let's go ahead and just turn away from the external world to turn within to our inner world, and just closing our eyes and claiming this space for you, for your soul. And really, if you do nothing more every day, just on your healing journey, I mean, I'm sure there's many more things I would recommend, but really that turning within and connecting to your soul, to your inner world, offering yourself presence, space to listen, space to be aware, and the vital space for choice, a new choice. So, breathing into this moment, I want to invite you to first just connect with your body, noticing how your body's feeling in this moment. Your body is your most sacred, beloved, forever companion, your longest companion. And so it's important to really connect to a body that holds so much wisdom and is always communicating. So noticing, how are you feeling? How's your energy? For me, I'm letting go of the day right now. So I'm a little, after many sessions, a little tired, but also noticing a lot of joy and gratitude. That was my fourth thing I had on my mind. We'll get there. So just noticing how you're breathing. If you notice maybe that you're shallow breathing, which is you're just in a stress response perhaps, or you're not breathing all the way into your belly, just override that and breathe all the way into your belly. Take a luscious deep breath and then exhale. And just relaxing yourself in the way that you know how to. Perhaps you're a regular meditator. Perhaps you can recall the feeling when you wake up in the morning and there's that dream-like state, that hypnopompic. It's kind of like trance-like. And perhaps you can feel just inviting that in. And what we're going to do today is just trust the images that come with compassion and curiosity. No judgment, no fear, just, oh, that's interesting. And what is this teaching me? What is it showing me? And what choice do I want to make in the direction of my highest potential? So, very simply, I just want to invite you to imagine walking into a garden, an area where there is a garden. And just trust whatever you notice. Is the garden flourishing? Is it kind of overgrown with weeds? Is there nothing there? Just noticing, again, with curiosity. We'll talk more about the symbology of your garden. But here I invite you to wrap your heart around this garden space, to be present to it with a desire to nurture, to tend, to reclaim, to plant seeds of possibilities. This is your soul garden. And for some of us, we see in our soul garden, there is some inner work that needs to be done. There is some engagement and healing that is needed. But I invite you here now to hold a vision of the kind of garden, and it's all symbolic here, but the kind of garden that speaks to where you want to grow to, where you want to grow your potential, where it's perhaps some imagery that represents the qualities of that, the feeling of that. Perhaps you want to grow abundance, and so you can imagine and hold the vision of an abundant flourishing garden. Maybe there's fruit trees and grapes growing on the vine, and maybe there's water flowing through that imagery. Perhaps you want to grow your potential of health and vitality. So create a vision for that as well. So we have two different images, your current soul garden and the vision of what you want to cultivate and grow. So let's just take a few moments with that. Being present to what you first notice. Okay. Like for me, yeah, my garden needs some work. It looks a little dry. Maybe I need some nourishing here, some watering. So just notice your first garden. And then what's the highest vision of a garden that represents symbolically the vision of the highest possibilities for you, your life, your soul? I hope this makes sense. And so now, bringing attention back to the first garden that you saw, represents a sort of a snapshot of your soul in this moment. No wrong or right, just this is where you are. And ask what is needed in my garden to cultivate, to nurture my soul potential. Do you need to pull some of those weeds, the negative beliefs, the patterns, the hand me down, conditioned beliefs that are stifling your own soul growth? So you can even start the weeding right now. Does the soil need some tilling, some like raking through it, breaking the old stuck energy of this garden to create more conducive growing experience? So again, that's sort of like breaking up the patterns, identifying what's not working and what would work better, and then holding the vision of the possibilities. What else do you need to do? Do you have some seeds to plant? Can you imagine where you want to plant certain flowers or trees? Are there some rocks which can represent obstacles in the mind, obstacles of beliefs, obstacles of past experiences not quite worked through and healed and integrated? Just noticing. And we're not going to complete this garden today. We're just noticing. And be willing to, perhaps now is a good opportunity to just put your hand over your heart and acknowledge, yes, this is my soul garden. And I'm willing, and you can say this to yourself, I'm willing to nurture and cultivate this soul garden in my inner world that represents the nurturing and cultivating of my own potential, my own life, my own possibilities. And this part, I would like you just to outstretch your arms, your hands, and just say, I'm opening to receive what I need to fulfill the potential of my soul. And I'm willing, and I hope you are, and if you're not, notice that too. I'm willing to tend and mend my soul garden, to plant seeds of possibilities, to nurture it, to water it. Sometimes we water our gardens with our tears, cleansing and also nurturing. And so now just honor your soul garden. Okay, thank you, soul garden. I will be back. And perhaps you can use this in a way, and this is how I work with it. What am I needing? And what would that look like symbolically in my soul garden? What do I want to plant? And how do I want to take care of it? And i.e., how am I taking care of myself? Right? Okay. So now I just invite you to come on back with your eyes open, coming back to this moment. I have a few comments here I'll take a look at. And let's see if there's any questions. Wow. Thank you for sharing your story with me. I love it. I'm going to share this since it's in public chat. So very powerful. And I wish I knew your first name. And if you can write that in the chat if you want to, if you don't have to. So I'm 60. In 2015, I kicked a 30-year opiate habit. In 2017, I started hiking the Appalachian Trail. Wow, I honor you. Wow, I am inspired by you. And it's not a female, it's Jim. Hi, Jim. Wow, that is amazing. That's wow. I should be watching your YouTube channel. I That's really something. So I hope that you do pause and honor yourself and honor what you have grown through, lived through all of those years, those 30 years. Um, it's like a long, elongated hero's journey of reclaiming yourself. But also be curious. I'd be curious for you to go through and harvest what you learned through those 30 years that supports you now. So congratulations. That's pretty phenomenal. So I really just wanted to come on to, there's a second person here. If you'd like to say hello, I'm going to be wrapping up sooner than later today because I have something I have to get to, which is my dinner. I'll just be honest. I made one of my favorite meals tonight, which is seared ahi with a cilantro dairy-free butter sauce, which is so, so good. Okay, I love that you moved out into the mountains. That's to me, I moved from Los Angeles to a small town, very much closer to nature, surrounded by rivers and mountains and lake and ocean. It's fabulous. So, anyway, I hope that idea of the soul garden is supportive. And remember, it's all symbolic. Now, I love to work with symbology with my clients through dream work and imagery, but you can just do it in your everyday life. If you're out in the mountains, if you're out on a hike and you have a question on your heart to ask, what do I need to know? Or, I'd like some clarity about this. And then as you're wandering in nature, notice what calls you. Is it a tree? Do you see an animal? And then be curious about the symbology. What is the symbolic message here? You can, if you want to, later. I always say sit with your own imagery. I mean, many teachers will tell you that. Sit with your own associations to the image. You're the expert of your wisdom. Your own awareness will bring your unconscious to consciousness. Then, if you want, go and get a symbol book, or what is that book? The old Ted Andrews book, Animal Speaks. If you've seen an animal, what is that? What is it speaking to? Those are universal symbology, and yes, we do relate to those as well. But first, sit with your own symbology. Let it speak to you. Let it guide you. Let it support you. Okay. My trail name is No Rush. That's a good one. Awesome. Well, you're welcome for the meditation. Thank you for being with me for the first time. I often stay on a little bit longer and have more things to share, but I had just a quick little message, a quick little imagery tonight, and I hope that it supported you. So thanks for being with me, Jim. And for those of you watching at a later time on the replay, please do comment. And Jim, I do invite you, once this is uploaded, your chat will be there, but if you can go to the video, that'll pop up, especially if you subscribe, you'll get a little notification that the video is uploaded. Please do comment under that, because the more comments I get, the more likes, the more I'm able to outreach to other people out in YouTube land. YouTube. See, this is me at the end of the day getting tired. Like my brain's going, aren't we clocking out? YouTube land, where if I have something that is going to be helpful and support others, you help me in doing that. Okay, well, thank you so much for being with me, and bless you all. Remember, be gentle with yourselves. We are in a Mercury retrograde now, beginning on April 1st, and we're moving towards the solar eclipse happening on the 8th. And thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. So I do wonder how you're feeling with all of that, with we're in eclipse season, moving towards that solar eclipse. It's a potent portal. Oftentimes there's more intensity. Oftentimes there's more clarity too. of what needs to end in order for new beginnings to happen. So I'll be doing a video on that on Thursday. Look for that. And it seems like there was one other thing. No, I guess I'll cover it in the solar eclipse video I'm going to do later. All right, take good care of yourselves and nurture that beautiful soul of yours. Your potential and possibilities are needed on the planet. Thanks for being with me. Take good care. Bye-bye.